Happy New Year's, everybody. As you can see, I am in the process of moving. I move tomorrow up into the mountains. I apologize for anybody. This is your first time ever watching. This is not the usual setup. And this isn't the usual setup on my face either. Yes, I shaved my beard. It's the new year. It's the new move. Everything's changing. And I wanted to do something for the end of the year. It's been a hectic day, but I still snuck in a movie to review. It's 2:30 in the morning so that I could get this done. And that's End of Days. I have one light source here because I don't even have my lights. I just kind of popped one up to try to get this video done. I'm trying to sneak this in. So Happy New Year's to everybody. And yeah, this is all I own right here. Just this little row. Not any of those boxes back there. Like everything is right here. You could fit it in like a 5x5 storage unit. Like I don't have anything. I like to travel light. I'm a minimalist. So everything I have is very, very condensed. Anyways, so what do you guys think? I know some of you are freaking out. Some of you are not liking the new beard or the beardless face. I'm sure I'll grow the beard back soon enough. I never have it gone for long. And if you can see, somebody sent me an End of Days pin, like, I don't know, a month or two ago or something. So I found it as I was packing and I was like, oh shit, I'll wear it for the video. And then there's my new Halloween Christmas sweater. Shout out to Caleb Vila. So anyways, all right. So End of Days, Arnold Schwarzenegger towards the end of his action career when he was still, relatively young. Then he made his comeback later on, but this was one of his last films. I want to say it was only like The Sixth Day and Terminator 3 and Collateral Damage. I think those are the only three he made after this. Anyways, so this is the director. Now, this director has done a decent amount of stuff, some good stuff. One movie he did that's fantastic, and I feel like gets zero credit ever as being a fantastic follow-up, a great sequel to a fantastic film. I think I've used fantastic way too many times. All right, I need to branch out and use some better ones here. But yeah, absolutely excellent sequel to an absolutely amazing film. And that is 2001, A Space Odyssey, obviously, and the sequel that he directed, 2010, The Year We Make Contact. I think that's such a great sequel that's completely overlooked. But yeah, so when I saw it was him, I was like, oh wow, yeah, okay, cool. This was, I haven't seen this probably since the early 2000s. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. So, having gone back and rewatched it now, it's a pretty good action horror movie. I mean, Arnold has made a bunch now. I mean, he made Terminator, he made Predator. I mean, he's made this. Anything else? I mean, he made Maggie. That was in the horror genre, I suppose. But it's not like he's foreign to horror. And there's definitely some horror in this. I mean, this is absolutely action horror, for sure. I mean, I don't know what else to classify it. So, it's not his best of the action horror. It's probably his, it's the worst of his action horror stuff. Predator and Terminator, or damn, I don't know. That's tough but this is nowhere near Predator or Terminator, or Terminator 2 or any of those movies. But Terminator 2 is nowhere near as much horror. In fact, almost zero horror in that one. All right, it's weird holding my notes. I'm trying to put them on the car, but like the light in here is weird. All right, so we've got Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously. We've got Gabriel Byrne in here. And we've got Robin Tunney, who was a big thing for a minute back in the 90s with Empire Records. And I almost said Hocus Pocus. Sometimes I always go to say Hocus Pocus when I mean The Craft. I don't know why, but I mean, they're both witch movies, but I don't know why I ever go there. So they know that she is going to be the mother who births the Antichrist. And they decide, let's not kill her. So back in 1979, they know this little girl is born, and I don't really understand. I guess that these guys are just kind of going against what was told of them, because the chick who ends up being her stepmother, who's in on killing her on that day, like, she's the one who took him to the cult guys. And so they put this little spell, and it's just like, why don't you just kill her right then and there? I mean, I get it. Like, they explain little things in the movie, but it all just is way too convenient and silly to me. I'm just like, this seems so simple. And I mean, Arnold's a tough dude. Let's not, mistake that for, what it is. He's a very strong man, but this is the devil. I mean, the devil, he literally punches through people in this movie. Okay, he's full on punching through people's faces. You know who else punches through people's faces? The Collector from Demon Knight. Yes, Billy Zane from frickin' Demon Knight. And I'm wearing my Demon Knight shirt from Caleb Vila as well. So I wanted to connect the two. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I didn't mean to connect the two. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I get to show him the Demon Knight shirt I just so happen to be wearing. So there you go. All right. So, yeah, I have kids. So in the scene where they take the baby away, you never know what they're doing with your kid, but you never think that they're going off to do some kind of like anti-satanic ritual on them and then bring them right back and be like, okay, here's your baby. Like, we weren't doing nothing. That is not a baby. That is a Mr. Potato Head. So when Gabriel Byrne is turned here, almost like Joe Black in Meet Joe Black, he comes out of the bathroom and he just grabs this, I think it's his wife or somebody, grabs this chick and just starts making out with her and pulling her tit out and playing with it. And the guy is like, what the hell? And then when he walks out of there, it just explodes, just blows up. I mean, he uses like a flammable substance, which, I mean, he has ways of blowing things up in this, but not to the extent where he could just walk out and buildings blow up behind him. So I feel like, I don't know, like he could blow up buildings at any point. Like, why couldn't he blow up Arnold? And yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a movie. I mean, I guess maybe if I watched it a couple times, I would catch these things. And that's just it. I feel like one of the tough things about my channel is that, I can only take in and process so much information at once. And when you're really trying to do a deep dive and break down every single little thing, you need to watch it multiple times. And which any channel that you watch, most of those guys, like the guys I really love and respect, they'll watch the movies like 2-3 times. I don't have that kind of time. Like, I'm trying to get it out. So there are things that I'll miss. And then, of course, if you say one single word wrong, then you're going to have some interesting comments. Anyway. So we got Arnold Schwarzenegger in here, which I thought was kind of funny that he, in almost every movie he's ever done, is always clean shaven. And then in this one, he has facial hair. And this is the one video where I don't have facial hair. I thought that was kind of funny. And then he is suicidal in this movie because we find out that he lost his wife and his child. And when we find out later how, whoo, doggy, that shit was brutal. I actually cried. I actually had a tear come out of my eye because I was just like, the guilt I would feel. I always go there as the dad. Like, I just sit there and I was thinking about it. And Arnold gives a dramatic performance in that moment. And I think he sells it pretty well. I've always said that I think that Arnold is nowhere near as bad of an actor as people think he is. Like, this is a guy who came over here and didn't speak this language. And not only did he become the biggest bodybuilder in the world, he became the biggest action hero in the world. Then he became governor of the freaking probably the most popular freaking state, if not, New York, California, whichever one of the most popular states of the United States, the most powerful freaking country in the world. This is a dude who has accomplished a lot, and he's speaking. You go over to another country, learn their language, become the biggest thing in the world, and try to act in that language as a bodybuilder who's already not being taken seriously because of who he is, because he's a bodybuilder. Because as I said, is he Academy Award winning? Is he giving amazing performances? No, but people shit on his stuff a lot of the times, and they're just like, oh, Arnold can't act. And it's like, I don't think you've seen bad acting. Arnold plays Arnold, but it's a good character. The character that Arnold created for the screen is basically who Arnold is in real life. Now, I don't know if that's something he adopted through film or if that's just his arrogance or what, but the one-liners, the cheesy one-liners, all that stuff, I mean, that's something he crafted. It's something he built. I mean, how many people can say that? So I think he's much better than people give him credit for. Now, Stallone is a better actor than him, for sure. I think he's the best of the action heroes of the 80s, for sure. But Arnold's not bad. He's just not. You want to see bad? Look at Steven Seagal. Holy shit. That dude cannot act. Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's like just above Steven Seagal. There are moments that I feel like he's acted decently. JVCD is actually some decent acting, and there's some decent acting in Cyborg when he's like freaking out about his family, or not, well, the family he adopts. Anyways, I'm getting way off track here, but I just think my point is that Arnold is nowhere near the bottom of the list of actors, and even within his own classification as like action icon of the 80s, he's nowhere near the bottom. Nowhere. Anyway, all right. The helicopter chase is absolutely ridiculous, but super fun. I mean, if you're going to sit there and question the logic of it, then you're missing the point of a movie like this. So it's fun. He's like hooked to a helicopter. I mean, you're watching the whole time and you think, movies are meant to be exaggerative. Movies are meant to not be realistic, because realism is boring. That's why we're at the theater. I know I've harped on this many times on the channel, but how many times have you watched the news and there was a cop or he's a bodyguard for hire who used to be a cop? But regardless, like, how many times have you turned on the TV and there's a dude hanging from a helicopter chasing after a guy, and then the guy jumps off a building and the dude grabs onto him and they're like flying around the city as he's carrying him? This shit doesn't happen in real life. It just doesn't happen. These kinds of things don't happen. But that's what we go to the theater for. So yes, I could sit there and be like, that's ridiculous. That's so stupid. I mean, we have fucking devils showing up to impregnate some girl who has the mark of the beast on her, and like, I'm willing to suspend some disbelief. But yeah, it's a fun sequence. It's not a great action sequence, but it's fun for the movie, because as I said, I think this movie is good, and I think everything about it is good. There might be a couple scenes that are better than good, and then I think there's a couple scenes that are not so good, and I think those kind of even each other out to just everything kind of being good, So that's where I'm at on this movie. So yeah, and then, oh God, guys, what is one thing that I can't stand? If you've watched my channel enough, they do it in this movie and it doesn't even make any fucking sense. I know I just came off of saying like, suspend disbelief and all this, but a fucking cat jump scare. A cat jump scare. He opens up a refrigerator. A closed, sealed refrigerator with no power. This is like an underground thing. I don't even know why a refrigerator would be there, but whatever. Goes in there, opens it up, and a cat jumps out. A cat jumps out. Did that cat not use up its oxygen? How long was he keeping it in there? Was he keeping it in there for religious purposes? Was he sacrificing cats? Was he trying to keep it? Like, why was there a cat in the refrigerator? It is so dumb. It is so dumb. I hate it. I hate it. I'm okay with dudes swinging from helicopters on, rappel cords and shit. No. Absolutely not. Fucking cat. Stupid shit. It is 30 minutes into the movie before we even meet Christine. Yes, I'm so clever because I got that super obvious reference. And the albino, I want to say the albino in this is a very memorable looking character, so I dug him. And yet again, this is one of those movies where her eyes deceive her. And if you saw a homeless guy walk up to you who looked like that, who looked like a total fucking freak, and he was just sitting there and he was smiling at you, and you're some, beautiful young girl on a, New York subway, dude, you'd be terrified, A. And then he breaks in like porcelain, like the freaking T-1000 when shot Hasta La Vista. Like, seriously? You would freak, and everyone looks at her like, the fuck's wrong with you? That is, I've said this so many times, but it's so unfair. If you don't, that's so unfair. It's not actually happening. How else are you going to react? Of course you're going to freak out. And then you're looking around and no one's reacting to what you're seeing. That would drive you insane. I think you would just go home and be like, I'm done. I can't. I can't handle it. And I like how Arnold goes to talk to these priests and then he goes down into the basement. This guy's an ex-cop. He has a wife who's been murdered. And there's this woman tied to a bed, bleeding from her hands and her feet. And he's like, what's going on in here? And they're like, you need to leave. And he's like, looking and he's like, all right, I'll leave. What? He didn't call the cops. He didn't protest. He didn't Arnold his way through them, knocking them aside. Get the fuck out of here. Or he didn't go like, all right, well, I'll be back with the cops. He didn't say I'll be back in this movie. I know he doesn't say it in every movie, but he dropped it for this one. If he said it, I missed it. Because I feel like this movie is a much more serious tone. Like he doesn't have a single little one-liner joke either. He doesn't have any cute little catchphrases. Like, this is a very serious movie. Pretty rare for Arnold. I can't think of many that are super straight like this. Predator. I mean, there's some. I mean, Terminator, obviously, he's not. That's pure horror. Terminator 2 is plenty of one-liners. So, Commando's one-liner central. Like, most of his films are. So, yeah, this one's real serious. Now I'm thinking about the tone of it throughout. I'm actually kind of surprised. My freaking battery's dying here. Turn that shit off. At how serious this was and how I didn't even notice that he wasn't making his quippy little one-liners and no, I'll be back. If I missed an I'll be back, I don't remember it. But anyway. And the body melding sex sequence that Robin Tunney dreams about, I feel like that was just a way to insert some nudity, and it was a very attractive woman with some nice tits, so I'm not going to complain there. But I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, the CGI is dated in this and whatnot, but how are you going to have two people put their hands and their feet together and they start melding together in front of your very eyes practically? That's not a realistic thing to be able to achieve. So I thought it looked kind of cool. I mean, the imagery might be dated, but the idea is kind of cool. Like, they're all kind of becoming one. I almost started singing Spice Girls 2 Become One there, but I'm going to spare you. But I do know way more lyrics to Spice Girls songs than you guys should ever know. And I sing them to my brother all the time. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. Everything's wrong with everybody else who doesn't know those lyrics. Moving on. They were big when I was a kid. What can I say? They played every 5 fucking seconds. So anyways, let me tell you what I want. What I really, really want. I want to move on. The priest crucified to the ceiling is badass. Kind of reminds me of Exorcist 3, in a couple different ways. But what I thought was hilarious about it is one of the cops. I want to say it's a cop. Maybe it was a dog. Maybe it was like an orderly or a cop. If it was a cop, he needs to be fired. No, like, leave of absence. No, go clear your head, no suspension, no nothing. He needs to quit the force because he suggests there is a guy that has been fucking crucified to the ceiling. To the ceiling. Defying the laws of gravity. He's up on the ceiling. Hands are both impaled with like the scissor, the little like clamps. I think they're just called clamps, but I think they have like an artery clamp or something. They pop him up there, and the guy suggests, well, maybe he did it to himself. Maybe he put it up. Maybe he put himself up there. And then Arnold actually has to explain it, like he's explaining it to the audience. Like the audience is like, well, maybe he did it to himself. are like, oh wow, at least they're thinking outside the box. Maybe this guy did it to himself. Yeah, the tongueless bum fucking floated to the ceiling like Chris Angel and crucified himself. When he said that, I was just like, what the fuck? And Arnold actually had to humor him, being like, well, then how did he get the second hand in? That is not the point, Arnold, okay? Even if he could have done everything else, he couldn't have done any of it. He couldn't have done any of it. Zero. So for him to be like, oh, well, how could he have got the second hand in? How could he have got up there at all? I would have punched him. That would have been great. Okay, this is going to remind me of Blood Diner, one of my favorite horror comedies of all time. There's a scene in the movie where, and the cop doesn't even make a dumb, suggestion to my memory in that, but this happens multiple times. So there are other times for sure this happens, where the guy just says something to like the captain, and the captain just turns around and punches the detective right in the gut. And the detective just kind of is like, okay, I probably deserved that. So fucking funny. And there's even one where he misses and he like kind of comes out of it, and I think it might be a mess up. I don't know, but that movie's fucking amazing. It just kind of reminded me of that in that moment, where that's where Arnold should just turn around and just boom, right in the stomach. I got time for your dumb ass ideas that a guy crucified himself to the fucking ceiling. No one ever has talked about that moment in the movie as long as I have. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Right here, folks. It's the only place you can get absolutely ridiculous, insane rhetoric from a madman. We get some quick side titty from Robin Tunney, which was kind of cool, but also like, why didn't you just give it all to us? And so she's going, okay, so her butler, whatever the hell he is, Alfred comes in and he's like, hey, someone, I don't remember what the hell he says to her. Someone's downstairs, something, I don't know. So she goes, and she's going to get in the shower, when then she realizes that her dude is in the bathtub, bleeding out from the neck, and the bathtub's filled with water. So he ran her a bath, and she was going to get in the shower? Did I see that wrong? Like, there was a bath drawn for her, but she was going to get in the shower. She was like, fuck water. I'm the mother of the Antichrist, man. I'm all against nature and conservation. I'm just gonna flush it all down the fucking drain without even using it. He's in a bath. She's going to the shower. I did not see that scene wrong. So she's gonna take a shower, then jump in the bath? What a bitch. She deserves to die. At least we get to see some quick side titty, so there you go. I want to say we've seen her naked in something else, but I could be wrong on that. I feel like she did. She showed it in something. God, I'm a pervert. But not a pervert with a very good memory, clearly. I haven't seen a Tunney movie in a long time. I mean, Empire Records was the shit when I was growing up. My name's not fucking Warren! And then The Craft, Fairuza Balk was like, oh my god, my heart. I fucking loved Fairuza Balk. I just thought she was so weird and amazing, and god, she was just fantastic. I just watched her in a movie the other day, just recently, Trespassers, and she's only in it for like 5 minutes, and she's older now, but she still looks good. Anyway, all right, where the hell am I even going with this anymore? So Arnold comes in, saves the day, because these guys break in to kill her, this and that. He breaks in, he saves the day, saves her, and then the next scene, see, not only do I hate her because she's wasting water unjustly, but then a guy comes in, a hunky guy, mind you. This is Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger here, and he's all like, he's all got a 5 o'clock shadow, he's looking good. Comes in, saves her. And the next scene is her accusing him of being snoopy and not minding his business because he picks up something in her house. Everyone in the house is a cop looking for clues. The guy who came and saved her picks it up and he's like, oh, my daughter has one of these. And she's like, you go through her shit too? Excuse me? Do you remember what happened? Like, you should be sitting here like, oh, really? Like, I don't know, man. That actually really annoyed me. I was like, what the fuck? Fuck this bitch. Like, kill her right now. So the Antichrist can't happen. The end of days can't happen. I mean, he doesn't know it by this point, of course, but I didn't care for her in that moment. That really turned me off. Like, really? This guy just saved your life and you're accusing him of snooping around when every other cop in here is looking for clues and going through your house? Like, the guy who saved you. I know I'm harping on this, but fuck, really? Really annoyed me in the moment. Anyway. And I already said this, Demon Knight. Make sure you show him your shirt. I didn't actually write that, but I just put Demon Knight shirt. That's funny. And I like that Jericho can see what she sees. I guess they're kind of connected now. They're a dyad in the Force. And Pollock in this movie, Kevin Pollock in this movie is, I feel like watching this, I feel like the writer and the director was trying to recreate the chemistry that was Tom Arnold and Arnold in Tom Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Tom Arnold and Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies. But, I mean, you just can't recreate it. I like Kevin Pollock. He's been fine in things, but Tom Arnold in True Lies, man. Not as good as Bill Paxton in True Lies, for sure. Ass like a 10-year-old boy. Fuck, I love Bill Paxton, man. What a bummer that he had to die. But yeah, Tom Arnold, fucking shit, man. I quote Tom Arnold in True Lies so often. What kind of a sick bitch takes the ice cube trays out of the freezer? That's one of the greatest lines ever, along with the ass like a 10-year-old boy. Two of my favorite lines in the history of cinema are both in that movie, and they're from two fucking fantastic characters. So, anyway. What the hell? Oh, yeah, Tom Arnold, Pollock. He's fine. He's okay in this. He doesn't have any lines that make me laugh. No memorable lines, that's for damn sure. The stepmom has super strength and claws in this. Does anybody else? I mean, outside of the devil? I mean, I know other people kind of like come back from the dead and seem to be zombified and, you know, kind of mind controlled, but she's the only one that seems to have like superhuman strength and abnormal physical qualities, like full-on talons. That was kind of strange and random. What else do I got here? I like how many guns Jericho has in this movie. Jericho, I don't even think I said his name. I actually wrote names down this time. Jericho and Christine. Those are the only two names I wrote down. So let's not start sucking my dick quite yet. But Jericho has so many guns. He throws a gun away, and then he's just like pulling them out of every sleeve. Okay, he only pulls two other guns out, but he puts it up and he pulls them right. Like, how did they not see this move coming? But yeah, I'm surprised he even can do that with his arms. I figured his biceps would just be hitting his head and he'd be like, shit, I can't reach my guns. They should have really thought through this plan. I forgot how jacked I was. But he grabs them, guns down two cops for this chick. Because of the frame, I'm having to like hunch down, like I have my legs spread like this. I'm doing like Jean-Claude Van Damme splits across the chairs as freaking Jackson walks in the room. Oh, that looks painful. Okay, USA. Man, it's just going to be quotes. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to do quotes. I love movies, man. What can I say? I can't help but branch off. Branch off. I watched Trolls with my kids tonight. Speaking of branch. See? That's all I can do. Branch off. Oh, he's got the coke habit again. I actually haven't been accused of the coke thing in a while, thank God. Maybe I've calmed down or something. I don't know. It's because I stopped doing coke. That's why. And oh man, yeah, as I said, like seriously, he was supposed to be there with his family, and his daughter's like, "Oh, Dad's never here." And she's like, he promised he'll be here. And she's like, well, where is he? And then boom, guys break in. And he has, like, not only does he have the memories of the fact that he failed his family by not being there when he said he was going to be there. Now, the devil actually kind of plays devil's advocate here. Okay, that joke's pretty funny. And he's like, hey, you were a good cop and you were just doing your job and this and that. You never took a bribe. You never this and that. But yeah, like, he has to live with that memory that he fucked up. But he didn't have to see it. Like, yes, he probably saw the aftermath. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't have let him in the scene. It could have been that dramatic moment in the movie where they break through. Is that my daughter in there? Okay, he didn't, yeah, that was Mystic River anyway. But this time he gets to see it happen. He gets to see it happen. Oh man, that's brutal. That's brutal. And the devil's offering him, like, look, dude, I can put you in here. I can put you back here with your family. And he's like, but they're not even real. He's like, essentially, he's like, well, you know, like, who can tell? Like, who gives a shit? Like, you're gonna get the happiness. And it's like, that's not real. That's not them. But of course, he ends up getting back at the end of the movie anyways. Spoilers, obviously, because he dies and he gets to go off with his family, much like the end. Well, I'm not going to say that. Actually, that would be a spoiler for a movie I'm not talking about, so never mind. But a good movie. That's fucking a tease. And I already said all that shit. Yeah, I mean, he's offered his family back. He doesn't take it. He gets pushed out the window. He's holding onto the glass, and it's cutting into his hands, and he's pushing down this and that, and then he offers him his hand after he rejects it. I mean, who would you? Would you reject it? If you had your family killed, he was going to kill himself. Oh, I forgot. He made that disgusting ass shake in the opening, and I was like, dude, he's about to have a stomach pounder and a Coke. If somebody, please, can tell me what a stomach pounder is. I don't care what... I think it was Tommy Lee Wallace or somebody that said, oh, well, that was the name of an exercise and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what little Andy was asking for in The Fog, okay? He said a stomach pounder and a Coke. It's clearly a food. And I want to know what that food is. And I'm going to surmise just from this movie that what Arnold makes with the pizza that's on the floor and a freaking full banana with the peel still on, I think is what I saw. And he put in like old beer and just the most disgusting shit, a Pepto-Bismol, and and he just drinks. That's a stomach pounder. He just needed a Coke, and he's good to go. You know, I always assume when I make these videos that people are going to get all my references, that people are going to have seen all these movies, and more than likely that's just not accurate. But if you have, you're amazing. So pat yourself on the back. You're starting the year off right. You know, if you're watching this the day of 2020. Sounds like a futuristic fucking, you know, movie, man. It's later than a lot of the movies I grew up with. That's the crazy thing. So many of the movies I grew up with, Back to the Future and all these things where they go like deep into the future, and I'm growing up as a kid, I'm like 2019, 2017, like holy shit, you know? Even like Judgment Day and all those things, even when they pushed them out in the future, we're already past all of those dates. It's fucking crazy, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, so he throws him out the window, he grabs him, throws him out the window, great shit, and then is able to pull himself up. This guy has, he's got the stigmata on his damn self. I thought that he was going to get his faith back and it was going to heal up his hands, because they point out like the power of faith. The power of faith heals you. But that does not happen. But I thought that was what was going to happen since he cut his hands. Very stigmatic of him. And I love how the dude comes in and he wants to kill Christine. And he's like, one life for taking one life for the countless others that we could save, this and that. And then literally like the next scene, like 2 seconds later, Arnold comes in and is like pointing a gun at him. And the guy like has the ability to tell all of his little lackeys there to kill the girl. And he's like, oh, now you have a gun to your head. And it's just 2 lives, man. It's just 2 lives to save billions. So where was that fucking, pizzazz in you from earlier? When were you up? You were up on your high horse when it was somebody else's life. But as soon as it was his life, he's like, okay, guys, everybody back off. He might kill me, okay? Like, this bitch ain't important. And but I'm... I mean, even though if he lets her live, I will die too in the end of days, especially me. Are you kidding me? I'm a fucking priest. So, yeah. I just thought that was so funny. He's like, Is it really worth it? Yeah, it's always big talk when it's somebody else's life, isn't it? This might be one thing I missed. I actually wanted to rewind this because I was like, so he's interrogating Arnold. He's wasting all this time. He only has till midnight Eastern Standard Time. And he's waiting and he's looking for this girl. Can't find her. Can't find her. You would think, he knows that he knows like her location because of those people. And he comes there, but he can't find her. And so he goes to Jericho and he's like, "Where is she? Where is she? Where is she?" They have their big fight. But then he just finds her? Did I miss something there? Because I know how Arnold found them. He typed in the guy's license plate and it tracked his car. Like that made sense. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense of how he found her. So did I miss? I must have missed something because I feel like that is a horrible fuck up. If he's interrogating this guy, he has this big... The reason it's a fuck up is because it completely negates that entire sequence. Like, Arnold rejects this thing to save the girl by not telling him the information, and then the next scene he just has the information without any explanation of how. So I must have missed it, so please, if you've seen this recently, maybe I'll throw it back in, but I don't have time actually, so fuck it. We'll just have to remember, but that better not be true, because that's a fuck up if it is. I meant to rewind it too, I forgot, because the clock was going to start counting down. I wanted to go hang out with my little ladies and give them some kisses, and I know I'm being so cute. And then oh man, Kevin Pollak's character here agreed to turn on his friend while on fire, and he's like, you think you're all fucking badass, man. You won't believe what you'll agree to when you're on fire. 100% I agree. When you're on fire and that guy's sitting there and like, I can make it stop, or I can make you continue to burn and not let you die, and you can just sit in this agony. I mean, pretty much anybody would be like, okay, whatever you need, I don't care if I have to end the world, just make this stop. And then I like that the whole train sequence I think is badass. I really like the action set piece there. I thought it was cool. I thought how he was punching through the walls and all that stuff. And even Christine's character has a good Christine's character. Robin Tunney's character, Christine, she has a good moment where she doesn't want to be, the damsel in distress anymore. And she goes to Jericho and she's like, teach me how to shoot. Give me a gun. It doesn't really amount to anything at all. All she does is just shoot one guy, and then that's pretty much the gist of her entire shooting in that, but it doesn't matter. Regardless, I do like that she's like, give me a gun, show me how to use it, and then she has her moment with it. And it's like, okay, at least you gave her something to do other than to just run around and show us some side boob and waste water and tell people that they're fucking snooping when they saved your fucking life. But, she kind of won me over with that, like, give me a gun. It would have been funny if she pulled out the gun and just shot him. And then she fucked Gabriel Byrne and the whole world caught on fire, and she, like, was laughing as the credits rolled. I'd be like, I knew you were a bitch from the beginning. That would have been great. But no movie ever has the balls to do that. I just want to see one movie that totally gives the middle finger to the audience. Like, that'd be so great. If you ever, come on, I can't be the only person who wants, like, a total, like, Andy Kaufman-esque joke movie where it's, like, 30 minutes into a 2-hour fucking blockbuster thing. Everything's going, and everybody's like, oh, these guys can't die. They're the fucking heroes, and nobody dies in American cinema, and all this crap, and then just boom, like, right out of nowhere, just people just get shot in the head, dead, and then the credits roll, and then for the next, like, hour and 30 minutes, they play, like, freaking B-roll bullshit. Like, it would just be funny as hell. Like, I would clap. I would consider it pretty much the greatest experience in the theater of all time, just watching everyone walk out of there. I know this seems super mean and vindictive, but I cannot tell you how many times I've fantasized about that while watching any movie. Or I'm just like, oh, wouldn't it be just great right now? That's why I love sequences that are so unbelievably unexpected. When you watch so many movies, nothing surprises you anymore. So, when in like Burn After Reading when Brad Pitt gets shot, or Leonardo DiCaprio in The Departed, like that kind of stuff where it's just like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah. Whoa, I almost fell. Oh shit, I have a box right behind me. That's hilarious. You guys almost, I would have took the whole camera down with me and everything. That's fantastic. That's the best part about not editing, man. You got to get to see all this shit. This is great. Actually, that would have been funnier if I fell, but I would have pulled the camera down, then the review would have been fucked. Anyways, I got to get going. It's like 3 in the morning right now, 3:30 in the morning. Fuck. And I'm not sure why the devil wants consensual sex with Christine, but he seems to want her to fall in love with him, more like Demon Knight, you know. The same thing happens with freaking Jada Pinkett Smith's character. What is her name in that movie? Shit. I remember Breaker, and I can remember all these other people, fucking Uncle Willie and all these people. What is her name in them? Anyways, okay, it's way too long. Let's move on. And train sequence is great, and yeah. So at the end of the movie, he restores his faith. He jumps on the thing, impales himself to save the girl, rejects the voices in his head and the overwhelming desire that's pushing against him. He pulls the Jesse, where kill me, Lisa, and he's like fighting him from the inside and all that. Okay, that's fine and all, but like restoring your faith in that moment, is that really an achievement? Like if I saw the fucking devil and I saw like these hell beasts flying around and all this shit and people coming back from the dead and rising up, and it's clearly the devil and all this stuff and the priests involved and all, anybody would become a believer. I mean, how could he not have been a believer up until that point as soon as he started seeing that shit? I mean, I guess you could start questioning your sanity, but really, like, that's not a moment for me. I'm like, duh, you better fucking believe. You don't believe, you're an idiot. So yeah, like, that's always why I've had such a problem with religion. It's just I'm somebody that's so logical minded that like I need proof. I need it. I can't deal without it. I don't have faith in anything, and it's one of my downfalls in a lot of ways. But for religion, it just doesn't work for me because of that logical pitfall. And with this, it's like, oh, that's all I'd need. I mean, if I saw this shit, I'd be like, okay. I mean, that's a lot, so I shouldn't say it's like all I need, but I see the devil, dude. That's pretty much going to be confirmation that happens. And yeah, he impales himself. He gets to go run off with his family. And that's that. I sometimes stumble because I'm sitting here. I'm trying to remember freaking Jada Pinkett Smith's. She was Jada Pinkett at that time. That was her first movie, if I remember. I'm remembering... Oh, that's funny, because CCH Powder, however you say her name, I think it's CCH. You just say the letters, right? No? I don't know. But she's the hotel owner clerk in Demon Knight, and she's the main detective in this, and she yells out like, Geraldine, or is that it? Geraldine? Yeah, I think that might be it. Ooh. Anyways. All right, guys, so long video for the end of the year, but as I said, moving up into the mountains, I'm not going to have any internet. I'm not going to have access to a lot of shit. I don't have room for anything. I'm moving into a little trailer. I don't have room for my movies. Like, all of this stuff is like going into storage probably. So I really don't know what I'm going to do for a little while. So you might not see a lot of videos for a while. So I'm just preparing you guys. It's not something I'm excited about at all, but I don't really have any other choice at the moment. So I'm going to try to get everything squared away as quick as possible. I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated. Check up on, if you don't follow me, I never do this stuff, but follow me on Instagram, follow me, find me on Facebook, whatever. And just kind of keep up to date with things. I'll try to maybe make a video here and there and just kind of give you guys little minor updates of everything that's happening, so you guys don't like go, okay, I guess he quit the channel. Not quitting the channel, just focusing in on what needs to be done in my life. As much as I love the channel, this shit is not like that important. It's not as important as my actual real life. So I got to get that shit squared away. Anyway, guys, it would have been really funny if I fell. I have to keep thinking back about that. But anyways, Happy New Year, guys. You guys are the best. Seriously, all of you. Yeah, just a bummer that I don't have my setup anymore and I got to move, but you got to do what you got to do. So, all right, guys. Adios.